All right, let's get the live stream started today. Today we're going to be doing Operation Barbarossa. And so I have some special things prepared for you. So we're going to continue the historical focus tree build here. And I've been debating back and forth, but I think I got it dialed in. You guys can always chime in. Let's see who we got here today. Zeno, Reese, Aaron, San Marino, Tentan, Bearjew. Good to see you, boys. We got Bearjew. Bearjew's going to work on the Spain build. Bearjew's kind of a little good at Hearts of Iron 4. I'll give him that much credit, man. He was the brainchild behind the Japan build there. And if I hadn't screwed it up, we would have had a world conquest. Nick, good to see you, man. Joseph, good to see you. Let's start this up. Have I played Gex? Blitzkrieg Doctrine, Modern Blitzkrieg, please. I think that's always the plan for me. I need to get back on that train. We need to get there. You're absolutely correct, Aaron. And then Modern Blitzkrieg with a 20% breakthrough. That's looking really juicy. Keith, good to see you, man. What type of tanks do I have so far? Okay. Yeah, let's catch up on this. Okay. Infantry. We're starting to work towards the MG43. And we don't have to get too far with that. Half tracks are coming. 17 days. We're going to rush those into production as they were in the war. I really need to catch up on like logistics companies and things like that. Armor, we've got the Panzer IVs. They're live. Panther, you guys are going to have to help me out. I believe Panther didn't go live till 43. Panther and Tiger. I'm not sure about the timelines on those, but I don't think we have to worry about them in 41. Tiger probably went live first in 42, then Panther in 43. So we got to try to stay as close as we can. Of course, they already had the Flak Verling. Pact 40, we're looking at mid 42. Don't have to worry about that. Flak 88s, of course, we had that at the beginning of the war, but it's the way Hearts of Iron 4 works here. In Pact 44, I don't know how many they actually produced of those. It's a massive gun. We already went over the Doctor, and we got to get down to Modern Blitzkrieg, but Kampfgruppe needs to come fast. Not too worried about our Navy stuff, and we're not going to have time to do too much of that stuff. Focke-Wulf should come in sometime in 42, I believe, and then we should already have Ju-88s, but there was really no time. In terms of scout aircraft, I believe this is HS-126 is the Stork. Cannon Vogel should be sometime in 42, late 42, 43, I think. Not sure about that one. Got to work on this air doctrine, because most certainly before Barbarossa they were ahead of that. That's looking pretty good, and industry is looking pretty good. I was saving up to modify my government for something. I can't remember what. It looks like we need manpower. Let's go ahead and go to extensive conscription, which they'd most certainly have by now. And check out our occupied territories here. Everyone should be martial law. So now what we're going to have to do quickly here is we're going to have to do the second Vienna Award. So by this time, Hungary, I believe, is in the Axis, and the Axis broker a deal and give Transylvania back to Hungary. So we'll be working on that next. We're currently working on align Romania. It should have been second Vienna award. After that, we should probably be forming Reichskommissarats here in 1940 in Western Europe and Norway. Norway hasn't capitulated yet. We're having a few difficulties up there. Looks like the English are coming in. Let's take all of our mountain divisions and bring them up there, because that's how we're really going to push up there. It's going to be, where did I put my mountain divisions? Here we go. And hopefully those guys are careful. God, I'm so bad at this. So we lost a whole navy. Let's put them on convoy escort. Take them out of there. These guys can be on patrol. And again, as you see, we've lost everyone. Where's my naval bombers? Oh, everyone's over here. Let's get these guys out of the Battle of Britain. Panther was first seen on July 5th, 43, so we got a long time. So it's Tiger first. Hey, Homa, good to see you, man. Don't worry, San Marino, it's going to be kicking off here soon. So Italy is going to start invading Yugoslavia, and then they famously get stuck, and then Germany has to pull them out, and that's going to be on April 9th, 1941, and then Barbarossa starts 1941, June 22nd. And Germany invades from Albania and from Slovenia up here, and they invade Greece at the exact same time. So I think I have the timing of this down. So April 9th, we attack Yugoslavia and Greece. June 22nd is Barbarossa. So it's the timing is going to have to be exact. So that's going to be hard to do, but we'll try our hardest to do that. I should rebase the subs to Brest. The Battle of the Atlantic should have already kicked off. So we got some problems here. Let me make sure trade is okay. Looks okay. So I'm going to have to see how we split all this stuff up here. Von Bach could probably help us out here in Yugoslavia. I guess it really doesn't matter how we set up our forces here. The Axis split up Yugoslavia between Italy, Hungary, and Germany. It's going to be a funky line right over here. Oh, it won't let me attack into 2 territories at once. Just go into Greece then. Just go down there. The Paras can just hold the line with Yugoslavia and move towards Belgrade. Hey, Tantan. Based, good to see you. Brandon, hello. Dude, my HOI4 drink has now become a little coffee, probably about 12 ounces of coffee, half a packet of Swiss Miss, and a tablespoon of butter blended together. It is absolutely delicious. I know that you guys wanted to hear about that, so I just wanted to tell you. Okay, so subs are over here. The only real safe zone that you have... Gosh, they have no range. Oh, they're repairing? They can't even make it out to the mid-Atlantic? I wonder if that's by subtype. Those are all ones. What's the other group? Ones. So it really doesn't matter. Maybe after they repair or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. They can't make it out to the mid-Atlantic. Huh. Chat, you're going to have to help me out with that. I'm really stumped on that one. I don't know why that is. Or why that should be. Let's get these guys moving up here. What up, Zach? J-Wad, good to see you, man. Get those cruiser subs. Let's see what the cruiser subs are. The Type 7, right? What's going on over here? Italy's attacking something. Somehow we're going to have to get a Rommel into North Africa too, but that only happens after Crete, right? Someone's going to have to look that one up for me. The KGB is pursuing me because of that, so now I have to live in the mountains. Okay. I don't know why they're pursuing you. You get it after you complete the sub focus. Okay. Okay. That might be a little late game. We'll see what happens here. These guys just won't go down. Did my guys get over? Okay, they got over. Let's put these guys on hold again. We now have barely any navy to speak of. I guess I'll use the Slovenian divisions. We'll give them over to Kurtstund. They can help in Albania. You can have attrition problems in Albania, though, which is looks like what we're having. Let's put half these guys up here. Just too many people down there in that spot. Yeah, hopefully Romania will after we do the second Vienna award. I mean, I don't know why they would. We're going to give away Transylvania to Hungary, but maybe it just bullies them a bit. I'm not sure. Okay, back to the doctrines. Man, that's going to take so long. I got to wait on that. I'm sorry, guys. So not a lot happening now, but things are going to start kicking off. And I do have something special for you guys coming up. I've got a map that Lieutenant Joker gave me to use, and we're going to go over Barbarossa, but that's going to be later in this stream. And then what I told you guys, I'm just going to let the AI fight against a field martial order, and I'm not going to go in and cheese the battle plan or anything like that. I'm just going to let the AI go up against a field martial order, and we're going to sit back and watch. I might grab a beer for that. Okay, so we're on second Vienna award. So we'll get that going. All right, we can invite them in. Okay. Perfect. So now we can... Hungary is justifying a war against us. Okay. I think that's just the second Vienna award. Enemy agent turned. All right. Trying to think, where do we need these guys? How does... Defending against subversive acts. Let's root out some resistance here. Who looks the worst? That looks pretty bad. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna have all the Hungarian regiments and wow. Not sure I want to control them yet, but we're gonna have to set this up somehow. Okay. Okay, so it looks like they gave me a couple of divisions here. Can just put them over here in Hungary. What else we got? We only have like a month to take out Yugoslavia. Apparently, it went really quickly. Eddie, good to see you, man. What do you think the next DLC is going to be? Man, I couldn't even think about that. Probably something. If I had to guess, it would have to be something with Spain, Italy, and Greece. Maybe a little bit of Turkey. You think it's Russia? They usually focus on an area and then do like one random area. Because they did Mexico, France, and Portugal last time. I guess that's in a general region. But I would think it would be Spain, Italy, and Greece next for sure. Everyone's been like wanting a Greek, I'm sorry, an Italian focus tree, and USSR. I mean, it could be Italy and USSR. Who knows? Trotsky survives the assassination attempt. Well, that's not historical. He definitely dies in that assassination in Mexico. Okay, now we got to clean up these orders here real quick. Now that I put the mountain guys in there, we're doing quite well. Norway will capitulate pretty soon. Japan proposes Tripartite Pact, and as you know, we did befriend Japan right after we got Operation Westerubung or something, so that this would happen. And we will sign the Tripartite Pact. Italy signs the Tripartite Pact. And I think there are a few other nations in that pact as well. Right after that happened is when Hungary and Romania got in, but I think it was into the Axis, but I think it wasn't until 1941. I just wanted to make sure they're in there by the time I get to Barbarossa. Got to take out Hugo. It's April 9th, and I think Italy's got the war goal against them. So they're going to start doing it August 21st. And if it's historical, they shouldn't take out Hugo. I don't have battle plans in Romania. I think Italy does. I have no idea what's going on there. Okay, there you go. We cannot participate in this award until a little later. Did that just bypass demand Slovenia? It did. Am I at war with them? I am. We're just going to hold back then. See what research we can get here. Wow, we can get dispersed industry in only 191 days. Okay, you guys got to set me straight here. Tanks. We need tanks. Tigers in 231 days? Is that going to be about right? I think that's going to be about right. Or did they not get tigers till 42? Let me have a look at that. Okay, Tiger 1. 1,300 built. 1942 in Africa. We're not going to go Tigers then. And Panthers 43. MP 43 is obviously in 43. I don't think we're going to be doing the LSW. We should get another. So, historically, Germany never developed Marines. We could get a buff to mountain infantry. But, I mean, the best bang for a buck here is Engineer Company 2. I still can't believe that's taken me 400 days. I'm going to save for 30 days and hope that I get past 90 there. So that I can start on going towards Blitzkrieg. Tiger, please. It's coming, man. We got to go historical. 42, man. 42. It's not until, remember, it's not until they hit the T-34s that they start thinking about, like, we need a heavier tank. This is not working for us. Oh, wow. Okay, huge collapse there. I don't know why Italy's not attacking. Maybe waiting for that planning bonus. And now we can keep going here. We're going to go Schwerpunkt, which already happened, really. We had the Schwerpunkt. It was in the Low Countries there. You love rushing Panthers and having them in 1940? That would be cool to do. I'd never done anything like that. This is efficient strategy gaming, so it's not very efficient to do that because you skip over all the other goodies. We actually need JU 88As, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. We should already, excuse me, we should already had that. Press the period button to turn your... Oh, okay. I like that, because I don't really care about their orders whatsoever. Eddie, you're a genius. That was awesome. I don't think I need anything over here yet. And this would be more historical. We are calling up more troops. We're thinking about Barbarossa now. We could get a chief of the Navy, but it's like, what Navy? Let's commit our subs. We might lose them all right now. Probably will. What the heck is going... Can anyone explain this to me? We can only go to the... Aren't they all going to be killed? We need to get to the mid-Atlantic. Certainly they have enough range to get to the mid-Atlantic. Like, can anyone figure this out? What is going on? They're based in Brest. Do I need to upgrade them? It's not going to allow me to upgrade them. I mean, we can try this. Oops. That is not going to work, dude. I don't understand this. Like, what is it? Access allowed fleets. We need to get to not the mid-Atlantic because it looks like this is probably owned by Britain. Yeah. So they can operate out of the Azores. We did something wrong. We need to get to this tile. Just deploying them there is pretty much a death sentence. I'm going to undeploy them. This is not going to work. The heck is going on? Paratroop the Norwegian capital. Get docking rights from national Spain, Venezuela. Okay. So the sub-1s, I think they're all sub-1s, Bearju. Yeah, they're all sub-1s. Yikes. Let's just combine all these guys together. And then... let's just have them spawn in Brittany. The Bismarck is coming out. So the Bismarck was laid down in 36. I read up all about the Bismarck the other day. Let's get these half-tracks going. We're going to probably get like 2 or 3 motorized divisions with half-tracks. Let's see how we're doing on equipment here. Anti-air is lacking. Anti-tank is lacking. Plenty of armored cars. We could probably put armored cars in our Panzer divisions if we hadn't already done that. We did. Okay, so then we need to create an MP division with armored cars. See how many divisions we have in occupied territories. That's not bad. I'm just going to filter it into our main division here. For that extra suppression, and let's just watch these cars melt. Wow, it took like 450 of them. Alright. It's going to give us that extra hardness, though. The Italians are still not attacking there. Let's get Karl Donitz. In my opinion, I would never make armored cars, but they're so fun, and I think Germany had the best ones. 100%. I do like the Daimler Dingo. That one looks pretty cool. But Germany just had such an assortment. I mean, the US had some really solid ones too. But the German ones just look really weird. I really like them. Okay, are we suffering from attrition here? No. They'll probably suffer from attrition when we're pushing there. So it's October 2nd. Got the second Vienna Award. And famously, we should give Hungary Northern Transylvania, but let me make sure. Okay, the second Vienna Award, also known as Vienna Diktat, was the second of the two territorial disputes that were arbitrated by the Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy on August 30th, 1940. A little late, not too bad. They signed the territory of northern Transylvania, including Maramureş and Cresania, from Romania to Hungary. Okay. So it's in northern Transylvania. All right. And then the next thing we need to do is integrate war economies, I believe, to get ready to form the Reichskommissariat. Let's go ahead and do that. Get chat back up here real quick. Best World War II movie, easily Saving Private Ryan? It is. But the question is, what is the second best World War II movie? I think I asked that before on a live stream. Inglourious Basterds. Of course, Bear Jew is going to say Inglourious Basterds. I like that movie. Fury was good, but didn't quite capture it for me. We breaking these guys up here? It looks like we are. Let's take one of these guys off and just have them go into there. Oh, Italy's helping defend Norway for us. Okay, Norway capitulates. Okay, we're waiting on most of this stuff, and Germany's not bombed yet to do these underground factories. I think what we need is to upgrade the engineer company. Tantan doesn't like Inglourious Basterds. Reichskommissariat, reduce your factory count, but it's historical, man. Got to do it. It will help with our suppression, though. So it will reduce the factory count, but it will increase the amount of weapons we have available, right? Because the occupied territories will no longer need these divisions, but it doesn't look like it's a really big problem, to be honest with you, because we're being smart about putting everyone on martial law, like, right away. Oh, come on. We got to break this real fast, boys. Come on. Before they can set up a line. All right. That wasn't too hard. I definitely want to give away Norway, too, to a Reichskommissariat. With Hungary's gain of northern Transylvania, Bulgaria has reminded us their long-standing boundary dispute with Romania over southern Dobruja. We will not back Bulgaria's demands. They did back Bulgaria's demands. So I think that the southern part here was given away. Let's see what happens. Oh, it already happened. So I think, yeah, they got that piece. I don't know if that actually contains oil, though. No, it looks like the oil's in the capital there. Didn't Germany choose war economy? We got the war economy. Oh, you mean on the focus tree? Well, the reason why I go to align Hungary and Romania is because they were in the Axis, and I wanted to make sure that that happens. The Reichsautobahn does happen, and as I've been saying before, it is debatable whether they went full war economy at all. So that's why I skip it. But we will integrate war economies. I'm not sure if that happened. I have no knowledge in terms of that. But we're going to do that to get down to the Reichskommissariat. So we're going to get a lot of factories through this. We're going to get like 8, I believe. Let's see what the resistance is. Maybe we can micro the spies a little bit. And typically you have really bad resistance in here. Yeah, I think we should micro the spies over. Paris. Something like that should be good. Okay, building those factories so we can get rubber production going, those refineries rather. Actually, it looks like we have plenty of rubber production. So let's work on that factory count here. The other thing we eventually need to do is reintegrate Alsace-Lorraine, and that happened very slowly. So that's going to come down the line here. War economy, 1941 to 42. Goebbels launches total war in 43. Yeah, I think we agreed upon that last time. Best World War II movie to me, Letters from Iwo Jima, White Tiger, My Honor Was Loyalty. Dude, there's some really good Iwo Jima movies, huh? I gotta see. I don't think I ever saw Letters from Iwo Jima. Did you guys see The Pacific on HBO? That had some really high moments. Like, the thing about those shows, they're a 10 out of 10 in telling their story. I think The Pacific didn't quite have the punch that, I forgot the Band of Brothers had. Because Band of Brothers had a really good cast of actors. They had better acting in Band of Brothers. It brought everything together a lot. But Easy Company doesn't have a lot to do at the end of the war, you know. After Bastogne, not a lot happened. We could increase reconnaissance companies. There was maintenance companies, though, so let's get that going. The Pacific was good. Band of Brothers better, for sure. Hey, Marshall, good to see you, man. Oh, dude, Tom Hanks coming out again with another one. And I think it goes straight to Netflix. Actually, I'm going to have to... Did that one already come out? What is it called? It's a destroyer, like an American destroyer against a German U-boat or something like that? Dude, you know what it is, guys? Guys, not possibly, the second best World War II movie is Das Boot. 100%. Argue with me about that one. If not the best, it's got to be Das Boot. Das Boot is... Has anyone seen that? Yeah, dude. It's where it's at, man. Greyhound, that's what it was. Maybe that sounds like the name of a ship. Oh man, that movie is crazy good. And it's so like it's so depressing at the end when they're just getting slammed. All they want to do is get home, and they almost get sunk to the bottom. I don't want to ruin it for you, but anyway, they're getting trashed on from every side, and it totally tells the story of the German U-boat fleet. And basically, you know, people are surprised to hear this from me, but like more than half of the U-boats personnel died. The ones that actually worked on U-boats. I think it was more like 90%. How would you like to be in that wing of the armed forces? It is staggering. And no one ever thinks about that. The English got really good at... oh, we're already at war with Greece here. All right, perfect. The English got very good at taking out U-boats. Oh, we were talking about this the other day too. Did Germany have radar? So when Bismarck did its famous voyage, I think that was in 1941, it did have radar, and it was a very and I think Prince Eugen was with them as well. It was Bismarck and Prince Eugen. They were both equipped with a very primitive form of radar, and basically when they came in contact with the English battleships up here in the North Atlantic, the Bismarck fired its guns and ruined its radar because of the concussion. That's hilarious. So then they had Prince Eugen strategically positioned either behind them or in front of them based on what direction they wanted to see, which I thought was really cool. It's like, okay, I can't see with radar, but you're part of my fleet. You go look for me, you scout out. So, and the commander of the Bismarck was Lütjens. I don't know if I'm saying that. I'm not saying that right, I'm sure, but he is Gunther Lütjens, and he died on the Bismarck, and he died before. He died via direct shot to the tower, the conning tower. I don't know what you call it. Bismarck took a direct hit there, and eventually it scuttled itself. Alan Turing, my man. Oh, is that the main actor? Tora is awesome. I think it's awesome too. I'm not as much into the Pacific stuff. The U-boat service lost 28,000 out of 35,000 sailors. Oh man. I had the pleasure of knowing of a person who was a doctor on a U-boat. He's a German, lives in California, and I never met him, but I knew of him, and that was very interesting. That's where the topic came up for me. I was like, that is a very special person, because not a lot of people, made it out. Alan Turing is the guy who broke the Enigma at Bletchley Park, allowing allies to sink subs with impunity. Gotcha. Okay, it's almost April 9th. What do we got going on here? Integrate the war economies. Then, since we don't have to demand Slovenia, we'll make the Reichskommissariat, and then it should be war with the USSR. And then I think what we're going to do after that is Army Innovations, which will give us all those tank bonuses. But we need to get those innovations, you need to be in Barbarossa. Dude, we are capturing these operatives left and right. This is awesome. Got to pay more attention to the game here. Uh-oh. I just want to give this away so I don't have to do anything with it. That's the Reichskommissariat. Oh, and we have Norway now, so I need to do that. Oh, it's already martial law. We're good to go. Any airports up here that we have access to? Of course. Let's take this guy off. And he'll be doing the Battle of Britain over here. Saving these heavy fighters till Barbarossa, but why not put them in here? We never developed the strategic bombers that we needed, actually, to do this right, but that's okay. Can't have everything. I think that capture a spy must be a war justification. Where's your coastline garrisons? Gotta defend against D-Day. Hey, Parker, good to see you, man. Oh, formation flying is the thing that we need, and then we need to upgrade our BF 109s. Gosh, we're so behind. Let's make a whole new production line. Let's do my... Well, I guess we have dispersed industry. Let's see how bad this ruins my production. Go with engine first to get agility. Agility is like more like a 2-hit roll. Speed is like how fast you can get back into the air and do operations. We're going to need a little bit of range for Barbarossa. That'll work. Yeah, it didn't affect it that much. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, you play this game, the long game here, and you definitely need dispersed industry. If you're going for a speed run, I think it's concentrated all the way. What makes a good war movie to me is realism, accuracy, and no fake Hollywood hype and lies. It's hard to get, Homa. That's why you got Das Boot was so good. No, use the air XP on the fighter too. Vihan, I gotta slow you down, man. We gotta go. Faka Wolf, 42. We got BF 109 because we're barely breaching 41 here. We'll get to Faka Wolf, dude. I gotta get these guys better situated. Let's get these guys down here. I don't want to lose all my JUs in the channel. We have plenty of these air reconnaissance vehicles. We're probably not going to need too many more of them. How many am I producing here? Just one. Can definitely be put on the back burner. I like how this is, someone told me that this is, I called this the Marauder for years. It's the Martyr. But I still want to call it the Marauder because that's a cool name. Did someone watch it? I've watched clips of the White Tiger. To me, that's not really a historical film. And then what ruins it for me is that it's obviously a... it's not a Tiger. It's like an IS tank destroyer. I think that's what it actually is. And that kind of... Because I can tell that it is, too. Someone tell me what the White Tiger actually is. They have a White Tiger, but it's not. Let's get these guys over here. The Atlantic Wall. Do they ever really attack over here? I think they attack over here sometimes. Spread those guys out. We need 86. Yikes. Just do the ports and the coastline. 63. Okay. Let's get Modal over here. I tried to find, if you'll notice, we have this Austrian field marshal, Egelseer. I think he was a... I don't know why he's a field marshal, because I looked him up. I've tried to find stuff about him, and I think he was a general in Italy at one time in the war for the Axis. But that's about all I know about him. I know he wasn't a field marshal, though. I think at sometimes he was like a colonel that moved up to a general by the end of the war. If anyone is looking for a historically accurate World War II movie, watch Captain America: The First Avenger. Nice. Let's keep pumping out these troops. This round's going to be Schnell Division. We got plenty of arms there. Let's go for 48. Well, the White Tiger is just a modern type from 1945, but it was a very rare one after the lack of resources. But the White Tiger, it's just a symbol of the film, the Soviets hunting the war itself. Maybe Austria promoted the Carl guy in-game. He's always been like that, Egelseer. Like I said, he was a Mountain Division guy. He's probably Austrian. Can't find a lot about him, but if you guys... have anything for me, I'm all ears. Okay, so we're going to go form the Reichskommissariat. And then they start pumping out their own people. Kingdom of Romania accepts economic integration. So we get 4 military factories and they get 4. Under our tutelage, their armies will swell. And then Hungary accepts as well. Same deal. We get 4, they get 4. That's huge. So you just have a swing of 16 military factories. It's not even fair, dude. Why didn't that come up to... There we go. Takes a second. It's going to be moved down the line. We don't need this as much. I don't need as many Car 98Ks, but I'll stay at least at that level. So we're getting 1 a day of these half tracks. So we can make a pretty cool half track division here in a few. Don't need so many transport planes. Where are my transport planes? And hopefully they're not gone. Okay, we have 8 of them. That's plenty. I don't know why I was so worried about that. Looks like we can convert the old Czech tanks and some of the French ones from stockpile. That'll save on some resources. It really didn't matter too much, though. Bismarck's coming out. March 42. Wow. Oh, we have more of the carabiners down here. Let's go something like that. So that all the banged up factories are down there creating car carabiners. And then what did that fill up? Okay. I definitely want some more of these MP38s. And we're good on resources. But yeah, PDX is not perfect regarding who they consider to be field marshals. I think it's a lot of gameplay. He's a really good field marshal. So, I mean, we could use him. Brazil starts with a field marshal. Yeah, I'll have to check that movie out, The White Tiger. It'll be eventually, though. Eventually, I'll check it out. Is Italy even attacking into here? Now Hungary's attacking? Such a mess. Let's build a Atlantic fleet. Raiding fleet? That is a carrier buff. They both have carrier buffs. I feel like they would have done a raiding fleet design, so we're going to go for that. Make sure none of the navies are on. Okay. White Tiger starts in 43. Blom and Voss. All right, we agree, Vihan. Fury is far from historically accurate, but I did find it an enjoyable movie. Yeah, 100%, Antonio. Antonio, good to see you. I forgot to say hi. The monologue at the end is one of the best scenes. It's better to use 2 slots for infantry weapons. I mean, 1 slot for old weapons in the production. Oh, the United Kingdom has decrypted our ciphers. Sucky. God, we're not going to break this anytime soon. Let's cheat a little bit. We'll use Eagle Seer, and then we need to get some of these guys out. Probably 5 mountain divisions in there would probably be the best, to be honest with you. And then we'll leave in this guy and this guy. These guys can go into the Atlantic Wall. I don't really care. Let me tell you what I'm doing here with the guns, and it's mainly a build that I use ahistorically, but the guns I'm using to not ruin production efficiency. But in this case, we have plenty of iron, and that's mainly what they consume. But historically, they were building car carabiners throughout the war. But no, I don't need this many of them. But basically, to not ruin production efficiency, I start doing different lines. And then if you're going for a speed run, I wouldn't suggest going infantry equipment too much of it anyways. Let's get that tungsten. Okay, who's going to be on the Atlantic Wall? Frederick Schultz. Bullet tracers were not used very much historically, but it does help to follow the movie a lot more. Yeah, I don't know what type of bullet tracers they had. So we're going to race along here. I'm going to try not to lose much territory to the Allies. Italian-German technology treaty? I don't think that happened. I don't think that happened at all. I think that they were real worried at this point about Italy because they couldn't take Yugoslavia. Oh, and they're getting stomped down there. I wonder if I can even get anyone over there. So this is the point at which Rommel needs to go to North Africa. See what he can get. He's got field marshal upgrades. Let's get him down there. Objective will be El Alamein. Of course, at first he went to Tobruk. Here, let's draw it out. This is absolutely where he'd be almost. And the British were fairly overstretched at this point. I'm curious to see if he can even get down there. Or if all of his forces are going to get trashed. It's not really what... I was hoping that he could... Let's go Port Said. That they'd work off of each other. Okay, it's not going to do it. Alright, whatever. Could spawn some forces down here. I don't think that they had too much aircraft in North Africa. Here, you can have carrier fighter biplane guys. And then carrier naval bombers to help you out with whatever you need. Good luck. You wasted free research bonuses. Vihan! You're all about the OP build here, my friend. Okay, so before we get to Barbarossa, we're going to just steamroll Yugoslavia, Greece, Crete. And then I'm going to set up everything for you on a map that's pre-made. Let's see how Rommel gets down there. Let's see if he gets down there okay. Maybe I want some of these guys down. Just for the steamroll ability here. Just get everyone in on it. Get it over with. Okay. Beating up on my poor convoys there. Did Bubby Hartman just die? Is that what I saw? Okay, that stopped the advance right there. Now we're going to give him a good beating here. Okay, do your thing, Rommel. Probably should promote him to Field Marshal. Okay, so we got the cipher for the Soviets, and we really needed that one. Still working on the UK, so let's just let that happen. We're okay right now. Got to go for the meta. We're all historical here. Check the supply in Africa. Oh boy, I don't even want to. It's not looking good. We're barely hanging on in Tripoli and not doing too well in the desert over there. What happened to my battle plan? Tobruk. Let's go. Chop chop. Okay, almost to April. We're going to form the Reichskommissarats, which were formed in 1940 in Western Europe. Use the transports plane to stay organization because of logistics. Now, here's a good point. So I can cut this in half, and then I can take these guys down to North Africa. But do I supply them like that? That's the question. I want to use these guys for the Crete campaign. Your mod is here. Now everyone knock off the crap. Hey, Terry. Good to see you, man. We're just waiting for Terry to show up so that we could invade the Baltics. That's what we're doing this whole time. No one here knows me in real life. If that makes sense. I'll tell you what all my friends are playing. They're playing Sea of Thieves or Magic the Gathering Arena. So if I play those games, they'll join. All right, what to get next? We're not getting bomb yet. We could use some more oil. And then we should be going for Untermenten Barbarossa. Let's count this out. We have March, April, May, June. That's 4 months. I don't want to be late on this. Let's get the war goal with the USSR. Just get it over with. And then after that, we can get Army Innovations. And then start getting the big cats. Like signal companies. And then we can actually filter in. Oh, that was was that engineer? It's like 12:30. Why am I watching this? I don't know, man. So Terry, were you just streaming? What were you streaming? I saw your video on the new the new series coming out of why am I blanking on that? Anyway, it was Vikings Assassin's Creed. Duh. Are we breaking this up here? We're not breaking it. They're still suffering from attrition. Let's just go with 5 Mountaineers. This might be this way the whole game. Just gonna... Oh. Yeah, Valhalla. That's what I was playing before, Terry. I was playing Donheim. If you want some good free Viking music, check Donheim out. And all you have to do is, in your description, is put a link in the description. He's 100% fine with you using his songs. Okay, April 9th, fastly approaching, and that's historically when Germany took over and invaded Yugoslavia and Greece, and the offensive went very quickly. Okay, we got Schwerpunkt there. I'm going to wait for Blitzkrieg and see if we can't get that. Divus Gaius Julius Caesar, welcome back, man. So the crazy thing to think about is in a matter of days they took out Yugoslavia and Greece, but Yugoslavia is a very interesting country because there's basically like 4 factions vying for it. You can see one of them here in Croatia, and the Axis split it up between Hungary, Italy, and Germany. And I think a little piece went to Bulgaria, not sure. As you can see, Romania has really shrunk in size because the Axis is just chopping them up every which way. And the whole area was embattled the whole time. I think once the Axis took over, there was a government, like a military coup immediately that they had to put down. God, losing my aces. Okay. Let's turn this on. So we have Von Weiss. See if Croatia is in the Axis. Oh. We're at war with them. Okay. And if you guys are tuning in for historical stuff, just to let you know, this is not historical. The generals are not historically set up correctly. I do have videos where I kind of got close with Barbarossa, And let's see how we set it up here with Barbarossa. Okay, there we go. Now we can go to Blitzkrieg, which we should have already had, but it's kind of hard to get to. I'm not going to do any pair drops in Norway up here. Let's just leave it as it is. It's way too much to handle. Going to move these guys down. We don't even have air superiority over here. And then I believe the Battle of Britain is over, and we definitely lost that one. Let's move these fighters over. Ryan, good to see you. Jason, good to see you. The Soviets are easy to beat in HOI4? We'll see. Imagine evading somewhere that far north. I know, right? And what always tripped me out is everyone's like, oh, they took Norway for the steel that was coming from Sweden. So I think I told you guys this last time, but just in case people are new to the stream, this is iced 2/3 of the year. So the way you get iron, the iron trade worked was it went across here through a railway through Narvik and then down the coast. And so that's why the Swedes were friendly with the Axis and were still trade partners. And so that's why they took Norway, so they could get the iron. And it looks like they have Narvik, but we don't have a good battle plan. Let's see if this guy got infantry expert. That would help out quite a bit. Okay, what to get here? We probably need to get... want to go down here. Let's get more rubber. Okay, so we're attacking into here. We need to somehow form a line up in Russia by June 22nd, so I was hoping that this would go a little quicker than this. And this was all done in a few days, in a few weeks. Okay, we got the maintenance company. Let's go logistics company. And then let's keep on pumping out civilian or military factories. And then we'll get more refineries. Looks like there's quite a bit of resistance. Not sure where, though. Check supply and you go. Oh no, von Witzelben is wounded. God, we are not making any headway here. Let's turn Kurt Student off. This is not looking good. Oh no! Panic mode. This got a lot messier than I wanted it to be. Let's take that port back. Oh boy. Let me take these planes out of here. We'll be able... I guess there's no supply going in that area whatsoever. Okay, we got war with the USSR. And we should be able to form the Reichskommissarats. So let's get that in Nederland. So the Netherlands. The fascist supporters start a civil war. Okay. And then we're going to get one in Belgium. And I guess we can't do it in Norway since we don't control all of Norway. So that's too bad. And now we're going to go Army Innovations 2. And we have the war goal. And this is starting to turn out to be disastrous. Let's get Guderian in here. Got the air superiority sometimes. Let me try to supply these guys over here through the air. It's probably not going to work too well. Never does. Doing well in North Africa, though. We're almost kicking butt. Maybe we can take the Suez. That'll turn some heads in the Allies. Let's have these guys try to attack up there in Narvik. 40 width. Do you think that accurately represents a division in historically, though? So interestingly enough, I was watching a video the other day. I even forget what it was, but basically it was saying that the tank divisions had more tanks in them in the Battle of France, and then by the time they got to Barbarossa, they spread them out a bit. And that wasn't because they didn't have enough tanks. It was because they found that you didn't need as much of a, say, concentration of tanks in a single division. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard on the video. Sounds interesting, though, so I thought I'd mention it to you guys. Okay, what are these guys doing? Let's go. So we're going to be able to rescue these guys down in Albania. They were the Panzer Elite. What's that? Oh, who sings Sabaton? Sabaton reference. Gotcha, Ryan. I want to win too, but got to do it historically. And somehow we've got to get back up to the line on Russia. Let's see when this war goal wears off. It doesn't look like it wears off, so I think we'll be okay. Finally got the tactical bomber going. Am I producing light tanks? Yes. Let's go down on light tank 2s. Not sure if I can get any of this supply. We'll try. Because I think that's a sea route from Portugal. It is 9:49 over here. So you must be in the Midwest, maybe. Oh no! They're backdooring us. How are we gonna Barbarossa when there's all this other stuff happening? I'm going to make sure to control B so that they strategically redeploy. Okay, we've got 20 days to get up on the line for Barbarossa. Still got to save these guys over here. Okay, so after we're done with this, we're going to transition, and I'm going to show you the map that Lieutenant Joker made, and we'll go over the battle plan in Barbarossa. So I might abandon this whole thing. Okay, Yugoslavia finally capitulated, and we're about to lose all of our troops down here. Let's have Guderian save them. Guderian, there we go. Perfect. So let's hold on that for a second, and let's at least go over Battle Plan Barbarossa. So what happens here is basically this would have been done by now. June 22nd, the coalition forces line up and are ready to go. They've secretly moved to the line, and Russia knows that they've moved to the front, but Stalin rejects this as they have the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in place. I believe the White Peace has been signed, so there was a war between Finland and the USSR, which the USSR was handed a heavy defeat against an extremely small country in comparison. And Finland will be coming in on the side of the Axis along with Hungary, Romania, Slovenia, Bulgaria, and all these other states. Besides, Spain is neutral, Turkey is neutral. So let's go ahead and pull over the map that I've got here, courtesy of Lieutenant Joker. And this is what we got going on from June till July. You have 3 army groups: Army Group North, Army Group Center, and Army Group South. Army Group Center is, the Field Marshal is von Bock. South is Rundstedt. And north is Ritter von Lieb. So as you can see here, let's focus on the south first. Can anyone tell me why they're not attacking here? Because this is Romania, right? Why aren't they attacking this way? Can anyone tell me in the chat? I'm interested to see if anyone knows the answer to that. Tank regiments is 2 or 3 battalions. Army Group North, Center, and South. Finland wasn't exactly on the Axis side, so they just wanted their land back. They were, but there was Axis forces in Finland, and they were supposed to advance, but they did not. They did not advance on north of Leningrad, but they did try to take back their lands, correct. And they did have an initial push. The question is, why are they attacking through here? It looks like we have the answer. Blitz, my man. The rivers. So you have 2 major rivers right here. That are not well represented on this map. So here's Odessa. But basically there's a river through here, and there's a river through here. No, I'm completely backwards. There's one here and one here. What they're doing is going through the peninsulas between the rivers. They didn't quite trust their Romanian allies to make the push either. The Romanians are to set the trap here. In other words, not push. And this is the hinge to slam the door shut. So you're holding their forces on a line here, and you're literally sweeping down to the Black Sea from the north in between the rivers. I think there's 3. 1, 2, 3. And you have Kiev right here. And these are modern day names. So that's what's happening in the south. And these are all historically accurate corps, army corps. And it looks like you have a Hungarian fast corps right here that most likely has tanks with it as well. I know not familiar with any of these commanders. I believe Kleist was, I don't see him here. Oh, Koch, I think, was the Panzer Corps that went through here. Okay, now let's transition to Army Group Center. And what is the major feature of Army Group Center? What's going on here? Not a whole lot. Why are we not attacking in the center? Does anyone know? I'm going to catch up on chat while you guys answer. You're welcome, Ryan. The Volga? I believe that's one of the rivers. I got to catch up on my geography in that area. He never wanted to get to the oil field. The initial plan, as Hitler stated, was to go to Stalingrad. Hitler had menus, or I'm sorry, he had some sort of victory pamphlets made up, I think before the war even started, that said Leningrad on them. His initial plan was to go to Leningrad and then south. But then they decided for this three-prong method, which, as we know, is a little worrisome. The swamps. Oh, okay. Yeah, there are swamps by Kiev. Bogs and mud. Jason, you're absolutely correct. Vihan, you're correct. The marshes. The swamps. And this works the same way in HOI4. You do not want to go in the swamps here in the middle. You'll get bogged down. There's no point to it. You can't move. And the main thing that you guys are going to be thinking of if you ever study Barbarossa is how they move was along rail lines. The roads are atrocious. Everyone knows that. Let's see how we went in the north. Now, so for the north, my question is going to be this. What is the main feature that is the advantage to attacking from the north, for attacking for Leningrad? And as you can see, they're making huge headways up here in the north. So what's the main feature the advantage that you get by taking Leningrad? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Because I don't have a strict answer, but I have what I can tell you what I think. The attack in the center skirted the marshes, but Army Group Center is basically on a line right here, where you see these two huge encirclements, and I believe that is Białystok, is Brest-Litovsk, the famous Polish fortress that Guderian had to take back a second time. So what's the major feature in the north here that's the advantage of taking Leningrad? Moral victory? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was in touch about the swamps, but yes, correct. Answer is bad terrain and railway important. Logistics, but forget the Russian use Tsar standard railroads. That's right. So the railroads were a different gauge that had to be changed. Wound the Soviet pride. That might have been why Hitler attacked there. The Baltics attack combined with Finland would be an industrial center with major army caches. It would be a blow to the Russian pride and lose the city. Well, the way I look at it is the strategic importance. And of course, we're talking about this with a lot of hindsight. The Finns did not attack. They took back their territory on this peninsula. They did, however, attack up here. And I have reviewed this map, not on a stream or a video or anything, with Lieutenant Joker. And the Finns pushed up to a point, but the Finns kind of did what they wanted to. The main point of the Finnish assault was to take Murmansk. And the feature up here is that, so you guys need to know what's going on up here if you're to know what's happening. So the Murmansk Railway comes into play more in 42 when the Allies are giving them supply up here in the port. But as you can see, the Finns cut the railway, which is what they were supposed to do. So right now, this was the plan, and they accomplished it. But the Russians, being the logistic masterminds that they were, created a bypass. And they created a bypass from a railway to a railway in Archangel. The problem with supplying through Archangel is this is ice during the winter, through most of the months. But as you can see, they bypassed this line right here. So for me, the answer to the question of why was Leningrad important, it was because you have the Baltic to move around. You can always supply anything along the coast fairly easily. It doesn't matter what the roads are like via the Baltic state ports. You take Leningrad, and as I think a few of you mentioned, you literally, do you see this right here? This is a rail line pointed straight at Moscow. And then from a tactical perspective, you have nothing on your left flank. There's nothing on your left flank. You have now linked up with your allies, the Finns. You've encouraged them to fight more. And now this line right here, because this Lake Ladoga, it freezes over, so you kind of do have to protect it. That shores up your line and makes it very small. So you're looking at a line, depending on where they would be. You're talking about a front from here to here instead of this huge front. You know, you're shoring up your lines. You need less troops to occupy the front, basically. So that's the way I look at it. That's why I think Leningrad is the logical first step. And you should not look at history and think that Hitler was completely illogical, because he did have somewhat of a grand battle plan scheme, and he wasn't always incorrect about his decisions in, at least in the beginning part of the Barbarossa plan, was pretty sound. Hey, von Manstein, we're going over Barbarossa right now, and this is what they achieved from June to July 1941. The Germans were nowhere close to winning. The Germans were never going to win. And I think that happened when they brought the U.S. into the war. I think that Hitler just threw up his hands and was like, they're already giving them all this equipment. They're seeing the American equipment on the front lines in Russia. They knew what was happening. So I don't think it was possible. Let's invade the USSR during the winter. That's what's going to happen here pretty much. Okay, James. Good to see you, man. If Finland took Murmansk, could the Germans have won? The answer is no. And we're never going to know this answer, but Lieutenant Joker schooled me on this. One hypothesis is that at least 50% of the material that was delivered to Russia came from here. You had the Battle of the Atlantic going on, so it was actually preferable to move things across the Pacific and all the way across the country that way. So it is a hypothesis that 50% of the Allied equipment came across from Vladivostok, which is over here, someplace. Vladivostok. And across the Siberian Railway. So if you take out Murmansk, maybe they just were like, okay, we're just going to choke the supply lines from the east, and they still have a area of advance. Can we just talk about how Petersburg survived like several years of besieging? Yeah, we can talk about that. And the way that they supplied it, I don't know if I want to go into this. You asked though, von Manstein. You're the man, so I'm gonna show you this. So he has it on the map here up to 41, and what happened in St. Petersburg was pretty incredible. Uh, the Navy, I think, was parked right here on this island, so that's why the Russians were heavily defending this peninsula, was because the Navy was right here. I don't think they ever took out the Navy. And then this, you can supply. They held this strip of land, the Russians, so that they could supply across Lake Ladoga during the winter. And this was back and forth. They would cut the railway, so you can see right here they cut the railway in. And then this was a back and forth battle. Then the Russians would go across Lake Ladoga. But basically, the Germans decided to not go into Leningrad at the time, now St. Petersburg, um, because of the cost in manpower. However, here's what we're doing in. So the edge of this is October 41. So they made it quite a ways before they got stopped in Moscow. So this is, they started here and then moved all the way inland here. And as you can see, they even have Sevastopol in the south. The problem is that, so you take out Leningrad and they're still supplying it. You have nothing on your left. You hook up with your allies in the north. That's why I like that plan, even if it sacrifices like in operations down here. You take it, and your front, your axis is, see how long that is? Then it just becomes just like that. The distance is shored up so much. Your front becomes so small. Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate that. Um, you really don't have a choice unless, like I said, unless you push in one direction or the other. You take Leningrad because you're already committed up there. You got all those forces. Then you can shore up your line, and then the line is not so thin. The main hole in the line at the end of 1941 starts to form down here. Guderian famously, they go up to Smolensk, then he comes down and back across, and they're trying to encircle Moscow, and Guderian is, here he is pushed down here, and they're making encirclements down here and doing what they can. The blind spot is right here where they have the Romanians and Italians kind of hold together, and that blind spot becomes entirely apparent when they get all the way over here to Stalingrad. And if you've watched Tick's episodes on Stalingrad, the last one that came out 2 days ago was interesting. And it basically, you know, if you watch the History Channel, they're going to tell you, oh, Hitler wanted political victory, so they went into Stalingrad. Not so, my friends. Not so. The rail lines, I wish I had that drawn on the map, all go through Stalingrad except for one. They had a rail line from Astrakhan, and this is what Tick says, and it's hard to... He found some sort of something, basically. He found a map, but the rail line went behind it right here, and then there's... In the Ural Mountains up north is where the refineries were. So you get the oil down in Baku. It comes up via boat into Astrakhan, then goes via rail line to the Urals to be refined. So if you get Baku, great. You have no refineries. And this might have actually been set up like that. We can get into why Baku is not viable a little later. But back to Stalingrad. They went into Stalingrad and cut the rail lines there, which, so you have one backup rail line going to Astrakhan. They have the two rail lines. These rail lines existed back then. The Germans had taken the rail lines into Stalingrad that way. And I believe there was another rail line from here. If you're able to actually take out Astrakhan, I think they should have just come across to Astrakhan and ignored Stalingrad. That cuts the country in half. So that's my take on it. Tick's take was if you take Astrakhan, there's multiple rivers that you can still supply through here. But the problem is, if you take Astrakhan and you get a good airfield, I don't have that information of where the airfields were. You can then bomb all the boats, and then you definitely take out that rail line. But it's not a tenable situation at that point, anyways. The reason why Baku, you have no refineries in Baku. You take it, okay, you have oil. But you have to remember there's Iran's down here. The Allies can then easily bomb Baku, and they can put their airplanes in Tehran and just bomb Baku. So I don't think that the Germans get the oil, but it probably would help out if they did threaten a little more. God, chat is blowing up right now. I got to get back over here to chat. That's what they tell you. They wanted a moral blow, but there was a lot of strategic value to Stalingrad. You can't just be dismissive of like, so the thing is, my thing is, we don't know half of what they knew back then. And they studied this as a profession. So, I mean, we're obviously just speculating back and forth. So, you know, whatever you guys say is welcome here. You know, take whatever I'm saying with a huge grain of salt, you know. Yeah, they were experts. They did things for very good reasons. They did not just do things for, I think, for like one reason. There's definitely many, many different reasons that were weighed out very carefully. But I don't think Stalingrad's too poor of an option. It's a good strategic option. Credfield, good to see you, man. Thanks for doing that live stream with me the other day. I really appreciate that. Did Terry go to bed? Don't ban me, Terry. Terry always loses his no, he's still got his moderator status. That's awesome. Russia is too big, enough said. That's for sure, Terry. Taking Moscow didn't win the war. Didn't win the war for Napoleon. Baku was viable enough in World War I. No reason why it should be the same in World War II. To me, you can't skip Stalingrad, just not possible. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there was more importance than I think that the media gives it. Because of the rail lines. And you have the river, but the rail lines are huge. And really, the Russians were masters at supply. So they literally calculated running the trains fast, and they had a set rate that you could run your train lines. And they calculated that there will be less derailments if they run them at a slower rate. And they evenly spaced out their trains. Like, you could spend years just studying their rail system. And what they did was genius, and no one ever talks about that. From their side, they still have to supply troops in a similar sized area as the Germans. How did they do that? They're masters at supply, really. Russia signed peace with Napoleon? Did they? I think they kicked Napoleon all the way back to Poland. The Germans have a lot of problems with standardization. That's true. The tanks and guns. Nobody actually talked about Moscow, so we don't know. So I think that Moscow, you see all the rail lines coming into Moscow, and there is a lot of military factories going there, but I don't think there's a lot of resources, and that's why I'm not a proponent for Moscow first. I'm a proponent for Leningrad, and then I think Astrakhan at this point. Knowing that there's the backup railway to Astrakhan that the Germans may not have even known about when they attacked Stalingrad, considering it's never talked about, it is quite possible they didn't know about the backup Astrakhan railway. Definitely didn't know about it when they started the war. If Germany hadn't lost its mind and focused in the Mediterranean, there would be a different war. I just think they were forced into it. I don't think they had a choice because Italy wasn't cutting the slack. Oh, there was a temporary. Yeah. Thanks for updating us on that, Divis. Moscow was vastly more important in 1940 than in prior years. Good to see you, Jason. Russians' organization about railway supply comes from the Tsarist era. So he built the system with the reality of war. Defense in mind. Wow, that's a very interesting take. And the way that I understand it, you would have had to have had that railway thinking in place years ahead of time. Russia is far better at logistics than we give them credit for. Their military rail system is legendary for transport and deployment. It's a necessity both in modern and Soviet Russia. Yeah, they live that every day, right? Do you know the greatest ally of the Soviet Union? The winter. Nice. Nice joke. It is true. Germany did not have a good winter deployment. So we're at June 19th, and we got no one lined up here. Okay. This is what we're going to do. In the interest of time and everything else. Let's give this to Eagle Seer. We're going to have someone stay down here and clean up Greece. Wow. These guys are in a lot of trouble. See if they can't get down there. Crete's going to have to wait, or we're going to have to do it during Barbarossa, which Crete was done by Barbarossa. 90% sure. And then we're going to have Guderian. Aim for the port first. Because if you take out their port, you can get the perfect encirclement. And then Witzelbin. Let's get him on a battle plan over here. It's not what I wanted. See if that doesn't help out. Let's get von Bock over here. And there must be upgrades. There we go. And von Rundstedt, from what I know about him, was not charismatic. But just for HOI4 purposes, I'm going to give him charismatic. Rommel's kicking butt down here. Oh, we took back Benghazi. And we got the oil processing. Let's go for excavation 3. That's what they would have been doing. Let me get chat back up here, see how you guys are doing. Thick Germany. German games are boring. No way, Ryan. What gulags? Okay, let's try to set up a Barbarossa as quickly as possible here. Should be schmelting them here. Throwing every operative they can at us. Overrun city. Okay. Perfect. I guess the choice is, do we go von Klug or Rundstedt? Let's give the AI a chance and go von Rundstedt. And then I'm going to need one more army. Let's fill Guderian's ranks there. Let's push these panzer divisions out. I'm going to spread out the panzer divisions as well. So these guys are going to form the Atlantic Wall. And then there's 24 of these guys. We'll make another cavalry division. Got plenty of manpower and plenty of guns. So let's change this up a little bit. 20 width. Give them engineers, and I don't think we can do support AA because we're so far behind. Wow, that's what I really need. Let's catch the AA back up. Probably don't need that. Don't need that many light tank 2s, I don't think. We're going to stop trading with the Soviets because that's not going to work anymore. Vichy, France. Let's get that sweet tungsten from Portugal. All right. So we got... These guys are still in a stalemate situation. I'm just going to have them stop there. We've got the Reichskommissarats in the Low Countries, so they're going to start spawning troops. It looks like they already have. Okay, then they're readjusting what he's got. Okay, so that's the Atlantic Wall right there. Let's give them Ritter von Lieb, who was our field marshal. Your factories confuse me. Let's, I'm all over the place here, guys. I'm sorry. Let's make these standard infantry. Put those guys on the Atlantic Wall. Okay, those guys are going to go the Atlantic Wall too. So what you want to do here is not overdo your line with Barbarossa here. So this will be fine, I'm pretty sure. And make a huge line here. And you're going to need to attack way into the Urals to win this. So that's pretty good there. We'll see if that works. And once these guys are up to the line, we'll have them go. Swedish operative captured. The Swedes are against us too now, huh? Get those guys in the middle. Okay, those guys are only 100. That's perfect. Let's give them a scout plane or two. Make sure they're on their mission there. God, I'm definitely feeling stretched. Oh, that was Kurt Stuhn's boys. Wow, he lost most of his men. Yikes. We're going to need them for Crete. Let's have him go for Corfu. Okay, so let's ask for some coalition forces here. They're not going to allow me to request forces. Could probably request some garrison support. Doesn't look like it. Okay, I won't worry about that either. Let's see what we got here. 79 divisions. All right. Okay, so let's just get all the divisions into one place here. Let's put him with Model. Put him with Eagle Seer. This is the lazy man way of making armies. He can be under Eagle Seer, and then he can move over. And then he can actually be under Eagle Seer as well. Okay, so Medel has all... They're going to be on the Hungarian and Romanian line. And let's give these guys some commanders. Except Dietrich. I think he was really involved to this point. He wasn't promoted yet. Reinhard Heydrich was actually... So what they did... I think this is him. Guderian was down... like on the right side of Brest-Litovsk, and Reinhard Heydrich was going to the north. And basically what they did... They went from the north and south and encircled Minsk. And then their second target was... in Smolensk. So they did 2 encirclements right here and right here before Guderian was ordered south. And that all happened in 41. Okay, so let's have Model's line. Go right here. And we're going to have him go for Baku. So he can be responsible for this down here. And we'll shore up Rundstedt's boys. What am I doing here? Maybe this is Rundstedt. Okay, they evened out pretty well there. So hopefully there's no unstitching. So we'll let all those guys get up to the line, and then we'll declare war on the Russians. Looks like we can create another variant here. Let's upgrade the Junkers. Trying to give them a little more range since we're going into Russia. Italy will never get a new focus tree build. If they do, maybe... you know what you could do with Italy? You could try to get Victor Emmanuel back on the throne. There's a lot to do with it, actually. You could go non-aligned. That would be interesting. Okay, why are these guys over there? Okay. Let's get these guys out of reserve. And I'm going to have the AI micro all there. Okay, so they're still doing good right there. Let's have... We're going to need all these boys for Barbarossa. So let's just set up this whole strategy here. And then these guys will follow Rommel around. And now the AI will micro all of that stuff. Finally, Army Innovations 2, so that we could focus on our doctrines again. From here, what are we doing next? We've integrated war economies. Let's do... it's 41. Let's start reintegrating Alsace-Lorraine, which was a series of integrations. But might as well get that over with. And that'll give us core on Alsace-Lorraine, which is right there, which is the territory that's gone back and forth between Germany and France over hundreds of years. So maybe we can shoot for July 22nd here. Let's see if everyone's up to the line. Kurt's doing wounded. Okay, still behind on anti-air and anti-tank, so what we can do for that is create another template. Call it basic infantry, and then we'll take out those two areas. So you can, on the fly, tailor whatever you need this way. So I would definitely suggest that you do that. And then, since these guys are pretty much newbies, like it's not going to ruin their experience, what we're going to do is change them to the new division template that we made. And then that should really help us out there. Do the same with Guderian's guys. And I'm going to shoot for the lower experience divisions. And this is just correcting basically for a miscalculation of how much equipment that we needed. Go half of these guys. All right, then we should get all that equipment back. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, starting to look better. These menus make my brain hurt. You gotta be, you gotta love the menus. Or you can't play Hearts of Iron 4, that's for sure. And the little clicks and the little sound animations. Like, that's the most satisfying thing, is that clicking. Oh, you gotta love it. It's like music to my ears. Okay, so once we're set up, I'm definitely gonna grab a brew, and we're just gonna let this happen. This guy's gotta come off the offensive down here. They're making a really good push down here. Or I'm making a really bad one. One of those two things. Looks like Rommel's stopping at El Alamein. So historically, that's as far as he went. I'm going to let this keep going because this is a mistake on the AI. They should not be doing this. If I've got 17 divisions down here, they should be matching that. Rommel didn't have 17 divisions either. As a matter of fact, I should probably thin his divisions out. They don't need all the goodies. There's no armor down there, which is another mistake. The AI should have armor down there, right? Just do that. Japan declared war on the Dutch East Indies. Ooh, we're almost caught up on this material here. Did I see that right? The U.S. immediately declared war on the Japan in 1941. That was not very historical, I don't think. Was there Hearts of Iron 1 through 3? There was. I wasn't super impressed with it until this version, though. And they didn't have these battle plans or anything like that. What's your favorite game of all time? Oh my goodness. I just remember being the most addicted to Civilization 1. Did that just blow your mind? Yep, Civ 1 with the boxes. Like, there's nothing like that. And then from there on, I was in love with strategy gaming. Like, that was the be-all, end-all to me. Like, I couldn't believe how great that game was. It had no animation or anything. Do you know what Churchill tells about the Greeks? I don't know, Stelios. Civ 1 Pog. Age of Empires 2. Yeah, I played that. I know Terry was playing Age of Empires 2. I think they have it remastered, right? With its cap of 6 save games. I love AoE2. Play it all the time. That game to me, of its era, was like number 2 behind Civilization, but then I quickly moved past it. I'm not a RTS guy, but the Age of Empires definitely captured my imagination. Civ 4 is the best Civ. Fight me. The best overall Civilization is probably 4, you think? I'm trying to think of the one that had the World War II mod. I really like that. I think that was Civ 2. I can't remember. There's been so many. Okay, let me get back in line here. I think we're ready for Barbarossa. We're not ready for Barbarossa, but let's see what we can do here. We're going to make sure that everyone's on aggressive battle plans. Get Modell's forces on aggressive. And it looks like the Axis might take the oil fields down in Iraq here. On Tick's video also it said that it would take special refineries to get the oil from the Iraqi oil fields and refine it, which the Germans didn't have that capabilities. But you know what? Whenever someone says something like that, Germany had a lot of smart people at this time. They could have figured something out to try to refine the oil. So I don't know. Civilization Revolution. Dude, Terry, I never played that game. I saw your video on that and I was like, I don't even know what this is. Was it Civ 5? Civ 5 is the best? Brew, even Germans were not ready for the Barbarossa. It's okay. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Is there any other votes for the best Civ? I'll be back. You guys comment and chat, and then we'll do Barbarossa live. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. My favorite thing in Civilization was Civ 2 World War II mod, because it basically is Hearts of Iron 4. I'm going to drop that on you, and now we're going to do Barbarossa. No, you can't use winter to stop us. Haha, winter. Okay. What does this look like? These guys are up there. Okay. They're doing whatever they're doing. We're about to take the Middle East. See our production real quick. We're late on those two things. Okay, that looks appropriate. Okay, I think we're okay. Panzer divisions, before we take off here, this is what we're rolling with. 20 width. And we should have maintenance companies in there. Did the United States just join World War II? I think that's what just happened. Okay. Okay. You have a non-aggression pact with them. Okay. Cancel our non-aggression pact. We need 100% of the divisions along our common borders. We currently have 90. We need 100% of their divisions? The pact cannot be broken in the first 12 months after signing? So that means I would have had to get it a little sooner. We've already signed the pact. I can't justify. This is crazy. What is going on here? Chat, can you help me out here? What the heck? This doesn't even make sense. Molotov-Ribbentrop was years ago. Yeah, we're like at war with the U.S. What in the heck is going on here? Finnish Winter War, Soviet War? How many divisions do I have? You can see them all down here. Okay, more men on the line. We can do that. I'm not quite getting why I need that, but... Where's my Atlantic wall? Here we go. I think I've ran into this problem before. See if that helps. We need 100% of their divisions along our common borders. What does that even mean? It said them, though. We need 100% of their divisions. This is so weird. My guys over there yet? Okay, so we got the rubber processing. Let's start doing dispersed industry. You need more troops on the border. This is crazy. Check the focus tree. That will gain you justification. I already did. I got it, dude. They have to be prepared for war? Oh my goodness. What is going on here, guys? It's like I'm taking crazy pills. Okay. We take the whole Atlantic wall and put them over here. There's another 24 divisions. Maybe I should have canceled the non-aggression pact, but how it went historically was Germany didn't cancel the non-aggression pact. They didn't even tell anyone. They flew their whole air force over to Russia, blew up all their planes day one. Day one, all the planes on the front were gone, and they just attacked. And in the first few hours, no one in the Russian military high command even knew what was going on. They're getting back all these, communications, and I think they were largely ignored. This is killing me, guys. I wonder if I could take out Greece and then free up some more men to head up there. Maybe we can take North Africa. Get non-aggression with Japan. I thought we had the Tripartite thing. These guys need to stay here. Let me show you the OP, fallback line. I think it's like that. You don't want to go down into Africa through here. That's a big mistake. Oh god, they're backdooring us again. I could make some of these divisions larger. The Schnell division. God, this is such a fail. I'm so sorry, guys. War support. I don't know. I could get more war support. Create an African section. Oh, okay, so that's for the spies. We can improve worker conditions to get more stability. Press censorship. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here, guys. Definitely not going to give Himmler field command, but he did get field command at the end of the war. Take the Suez for sure, man. Paradox should fix this and offer peace option. It's okay, efficient. Thank you, von Munstein. I need to hear that right now. I am like freaking out. Okay, now. It was. We didn't have enough people on the line. Who said that? Stelios? You're absolutely correct. I'm sorry for... Who was it that said that? I'm sorry for not believing you. Okay, I didn't have to cancel the non-aggression pact? Oh, thank you so much. We're calling our allies in. What was that, guys? Like, what was that? I have no idea. That makes no sense to me from my knowledge of the game. I don't know why that happened. Oh well. We're past it. Oh, look at this. Isn't that cute? Rommel's gonna have quite the time in North Africa now. Okay. We shouldn't have gone for the Suez, guys. The Allies are pissed at us. We got those nice field marshal orders here. Okay, let's get this on. Oh, it's okay, Stelios. You're good. So what I could have done is waited for them to smash up against me, but there, we broke the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. We have signal companies now for our armor. We probably don't need piercing, so I'm going to take the support anti-air out, and we'll swap that out like so. The biggest thing, if you're playing this style, like this is more of a lazy man style, I don't think we're going to win. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to keep it on field marshal orders. But basically, the biggest thing is just making sure everything is filled up, and we should be good. What we also want to do is create a half-track division. Let's see, is there a half-track on here? Just make it that, and then there, that makes them 20 width. Actually, we could probably just mainstream that into our motorized divisions, if that's all we're doing. See no problem with that. How many half tracks do we have? 460. Okay, that worked. It looks like we could even go more half track. I don't think we have too many motorized divisions. Let's do it this way. Let's just filter them in through here. You don't need to win. It's historical Germany. Look at all these forces down here. I'm just going to turn off Modell. He's winning down here, though. And we can go back to the map if you guys want to see where they're going. Oh, Ireland's joining now. We're so screwed, guys. We're so screwed. We have, like, no chance. This is monotonous up here. Let's turn that off. We can't supply them anyways. And then we're stalemating in Greece. Yep, let's turn him off. There's no point to that. If Rommel's able to take that section out, he'll do a lot better. So we reintegrated Alsace-Lorraine. Let's get some air innovations going here. And then we'll start thinking about 1942 and what we need to upgrade there. I'm taking my men back. Let's put them... There's 9 divisions here. Let's put them over there. Take out Alexandria. I wonder if these guys could reinforce Rommel down there in North Africa, if they could even make it. We'll see. Those look like Dutch Rijkskommissariat divisions there. See if they make it over there or not. Jesus, I would surrender. Why do you use aggressive? It just works the best. I can't explain why, it just works the best. When I'm using my mobile warfare encirclement techniques, I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, the aggressive is what you need. Probably not for this. I find that this is what it is. When you attack, you want the line to attack. If you're not on aggressive, your units won't move forward as fast, and that's a real big problem. Because I want them attacking all across the line to hold these forces, like say hold these forces here. If I was trying to make an encirclement and wrap around, I need everyone to attack into them, even if it's not a perfect battle plan. That's why you put it on aggressive. So I'm not sure if that's the best option here. Probably the best option here is to wait, let them attack you, let them run themselves down, then attack. But we're trying to simulate World War II. We starting to gain down here? I feel like we're going to get overwhelmed eventually right there. Oh my goodness. We got problems. The Italian Navy's not cutting the mustard here, boys. If we can get this encircled real quick. Actually, they are. There's no port. They get this done real quick. We might have a fighting chance. Oh, they decrypted our ciphers again. The IRA is coming to Germany. Stick to... God, that looks horrendous. There was fighting down in Ethiopia. Not sure when that ended, though. Well, Credfield, if you're still here, this is going to answer your questions. I don't think we're going to win this one. We'll see. We're just now getting to Kampfgruppe. And we have Blitzkrieg. That's going to help quite a bit. The tanks and everything like that. We only have 25 days of fuel left. For you guys that want to know techniques about encirclements, number one is air superiority in the provinces that you're trying to encircle. Number two is getting your armor, the hardness of your panzer divisions greater than 50%, and then that allows you to do blitz tactics. And then make sure you can pierce the enemy tanks, I guess, is another tip. To be honest, Italy is doing great in Ethiopia. Did you buff them, laughing LMAO? Manpower is dropping fast. I see it, man. San Marino, you're back. Can you tell us a non-dark joke, San Marino? Tell us a happy joke. We're not doing good. It's Barbarossa. Winter's coming. Tell us a happy joke. We're almost out of oil. Let's fix the refinery situation here. Get these to the bottom. We can fix manpower. Service by requirement. It's not a problem. And then we need to fix fuel. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, that should be sorted out. Keep pushing until the final victory. Donald, good to see you, man. You know a meme about Italy? The Air Force is probably taking up the most of the fuel. Army consumption is 6.6K a day. Air is 4, so it looks like it's actually the Army in this case. Just because I have so many tank divisions. We're actually starting to catch up in a lot of areas here. Let's make sure that, okay, Lithuania is going to need to be martial law. And let's make sure we're getting enough armored cars in here. God, I need so much more production. It's crazy. Got logistics company, but I can't really use it. Let's try to buff our industry here. What do you keep on? You're always on me about Liechtenstein, San Marino. Have you been to Europe, San Marino? The United Kingdom declared war on Iceland. Okay. Oh, they're in the Axis. Are they one of my Reichskommissarats? I'm not sure. Let's see here. We have Führer Directive 21. The Germans' armed forces must be prepared to crush Soviet Russia. The bulk of the Russian army. God, they keep sending guys over. The bulk of the Russian army will be destroyed by daring operations led by the armored spearheads. Effects when completed. Gain base war support 10%. Unternehmen Barbarossa. I don't know how to say that. There's no way we're getting this. 115 days? We can't even get enough fuel. I don't know what we're going to do here. God, we can try getting oil from Venezuela. I don't think that's going to go very well. Let's try sending these U-boats out. It's going to be okay, guys. Don't worry about it. Oh, boy. Oh, God. We're losing all across the line. And this border with Hungary right here was bypassed. And you can see better on this map right here. The rivers that I was talking about, they're going right in between these two. And then these two as well. But yeah, it started all right here below the marshes. And then the Russians pulled out of this area because that would have been an obvious encirclement zone. And then they held Odessa. The Romanians were left to encircle Odessa. And then when they were ready to pull out of there, the Navy ferried them to Sevastopol where they were encircled again and defeated. I wouldn't have wanted that job. I'm thinking we have to do a halt order here. This is crazy, but we're on a halt order. This is really bad. Heinz Guderian wounded. Ritter von Lieb. All right, we got upgrades now. All is not lost. Let's get these men refitted and throw them back in there. Oh, Rommel's got infantry. What? He's already too full. Probably should just make him a field marshal. Ryan, you love the mouse? It's pretty cool. It seems a little weird, a little too big. Play Gex. T-36. Mine is obviously the Tiger. I just like it for the looks. I think my favorite was the Panther for a long time. And then the Chieftain taught me about how the road wheels were interleafed and how much of a pain in the ass that is to fix. And then Tiger became my favorite. God, I don't think I'm going to turn on these coalition forces in the south are just getting killed. Oh. My man Rommel. Okay, we got 4 encirclements over here. Munstein does not want me to do this at all. There's something to actually look at down here, Munstein. Battle plans are not going too well up here. But in North Africa, things are looking up. The United States has landed, but has not declared war against Vichy France. Make me field marshal. Was Manstein... Manstein was made field marshal like in 42? Or was it for the Battle of Sevastopol? I can't remember. Alright, let's retake this territory. It's definitely like cheating to have Rommel up here, because he's just too good. Let's turn these bad boys back on. The Moss was super unethical for Germany, but it's a superhero OP tank in HOI4. Best tank is clearly the IS-6. I think those big boys are overrated. Okay, we'll go for some naval innovations here. Okay, we're not losing our subs yet, so that's on the bright side. We're not pushing it all over here. This is horrible. This is not tenable. Wow. See what happens when you don't go free trade? If we had gone free trade, we probably would have like 300,000 infantry equipment right now. Spearhead the armor divisions. I'm not doing it. The critics are like, no, ESG, you're just going to go in there and slaughter the Russians and do your thing. Said, no, we're going to let the AI decide. I think we're really at a stalemate here. I don't know if you guys want me to go to Ensig here, because we kind of got stopped up here. Wow, Rommel is just so good. Look at him. He didn't even land on a port. Crazy talk. Okay, so here's another theory. No Barbarossa. Defeat the Allies in North Africa solely. Take the oil fields in Iraq. Hold North Africa. Hold the Atlantic Wall. Eventually keep moving east where all the resources are on the map. Open up a new front with the Soviets and then attack there. If you didn't do Barbarossa, you could have defeated all the forces in North Africa. The English were there. You could have taken the Suez. I don't know what you do about Gibraltar. Maybe get Spain on your side. And then once you're powerful enough, you take out the Soviets. Just a thought. It's another theory. What's the Gex mean? What is he talking about, Gex? Do I even want to know? We won the Battle of Africa. I think we're going to lose the war here. Iceland capitulated. Mr. Terry, all my schools shut down, man. I shed a tear for you, man. In solidarity. All the schools have declared no one's going. Yeah, I figure he's trolling. I have hope that San Marino's a good guy, though. Good night, Ryan. Oh, dude, Terry, when you trolled me, the stonk, I looked that up. That looked pretty interesting. That was a weird looking tank, dude. Let's get down to... Yeah, you want the CAS, Tactical Air Effort. We can invite a Legionnaire of Bulgaria, finally. The Tonk? Yeah, dude. And they declared they are returning. What's your estimate, man? I think it's going to be January. Schools return half-time in a limited fashion. At least I can only talk about California. And then I think it won't be until, God, that's crazy, next September until they're fully opened. That's what I think. That's solely based on a guesstimate about what happened with the 1918 Spanish flu. But because it seemed to take like a year and a quarter to fully run its course. And I don't know if we're doing a better job or a worse job of containing it. Let's try this again. This is over, guys. We're done. Unfortunately. But we got Rommel here in North Africa. The U.S. is pretty well surrounded there, so they landed too. So I think that this is the end to this series. And we really missed like the time when we could have attacked and had been successful. Probably would have been earlier in 41, but for whatever reason the game kind of glitched out and we couldn't attack until later 41, which is a real big disadvantage because of the Russian winter and because the side effects of the Great Purge wear off. But I would like to take a look at the map one more time for Barbarossa. And so we're in 42, and that is not indicated here on the map. And basically this map ends in October 41. So this is where they got in October 41 before they were stopped at the gates of Moscow. And I'm pretty sure this represents the furthest line that they got. And these are obvious encirclements that occurred in front of Moscow as they were just throwing divisions in. And at this point in 41, they were Moscow oriented because they had decided not to go for Leningrad. And you can just tell by this map. Their all-star Guderian is going here for the encirclement, the Schwerpunkt of Moscow, and he never really made it. He kind of gotten swallowed up by the Russian landscape. There was just too much to do. And then down south, I think that they were sieging Sevastopol. You see it's not quite taken yet. So, yeah, they were hung up all over the place, but most likely this whole campaign ended in at the end of 41. Probably had no real chance of success. But if they had been able to take Leningrad and Moscow in Sevastopol in 41, things might have been different. I don't know. In Greece, the schools were open a month ago and then closed, and then they open on September 7th. Yeah, that's interesting. Everyone's there's no real consensus about what to do. As people say, it's interesting times. I just hope you guys are all safe and trying to be happy. I can tell you for myself, it's like cabin fever is, at this point, cabin fever is really bad. So, it's always fun to talk to you guys, though. But I think I'm going to end the stream here. This is the end of the German Reich. We never took Greece. We never took all of Norway. And we never took all of Africa or North Africa. But every time I attack on this front, we just get stopped. It's just too slow for Hearts of Iron 4 Elite Iron Man mode on historical AI. Gonzalo, thanks for showing up. Terry, thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it. As I told you guys earlier, Bearjew's working on, he's one of my viewers, and he's working on a Spanish build. So we might do that on Sunday. I definitely didn't expect this outcome. I expected that we should have done better. I think that the difference was I didn't cheese the game a lot. I didn't go free trade, and I didn't do those little extra things that you basically need to get your economy going. But it was a fun exercise, and I hope you guys learned a lot about Barbarossa and kind of what happened. And I'd like it if you guys just keep your mind open when you come into the streams and try to listen to new ideas and things like that, because I think that's important, and we're still trying to piece together what happened in this time in history, and it's cool to hear new perspectives on things. Real quick, we have channel membership. I have Patreon that you can subscribe to as well. I have a t-shirt out, and yeah, if you enjoy this content, please leave a like and subscribe. Check out Mr. Terry's channel. I have a Discord. Terry has a much better Discord, and Mr. Terry is now doing a gaming channel. And I'm assuming he's going to do the Assassin's Creed when that comes out because he just did a video on it. And he has a lot of cool videos on ranking different video game consoles. And he plays a lot of different games, and it's a lot of fun. And his main channel is historical based, and he is a history teacher. Um, so, yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.